I'm Josh Merhar, and today I want to talk about how to improve your ghost notes. In case you don't know, ghost notes are a dynamic element. They are notes that are played quieter than your relative median volume. They're sort of the opposite of an accent. Ghost notes are a really useful way to add texture and depth to grooves. But it's important that they are played really quietly, otherwise they kind of have the opposite effect and they sort of get in the way of grooves. This video is going to break down a few different ways of applying ghost notes in the setting of a groove and will hopefully allow you to play them really quietly and really quickly. To get started, we are going to use just single ghost notes. Ultimately, we will be filling out a full measure of 16th notes played between the bass drum and the snare drum. But at first, we are just going to place a ghost note on the E of beats 1 and 3, and at the of beats 2 and 4. And we really want to bring out the accents on beats 2 and 4. We want that backbeat to jump out. Having a wide dynamic spread is really going to help things sound better and just feel better in the long run. The bass drum will land on beats 1 and 3, on the of 1 and 3, and the E of 2 and 4. All together underneath an eighth note on the hi-hat, it's going to sound like this. So you'll notice how small of a motion I'm using with my left hand on the snare drum. Using smaller motions just makes playing quieter a lot easier. Staying relaxed and using really tiny motions is incredibly important in having clean, quiet ghost notes. The looser you are, the better it'll sound. When you're comfortable playing the patterns with just one ghost note at a time, we're going to start filling out more of the 16th notes on the snare drum. So now we will have groupings of 2 consecutive ghost notes. Now the ghost notes will land on the E and of counts 1 and 3, and the and of counts 2 and 4. So this will give us a constant stream of 16th notes between the bass drum and the snare drum. All of that together underneath an eighth note in the hi-hat will sound like this. We could also turn this into a bit of a coordination exercise by playing different hi-hat patterns. So we're starting by just playing all of the eighth notes, but what if we played just the upbeats? or even just the quarter note on the hi-hats. Since we essentially just have double strokes with the left hand, if you have a really good double stroke roll, you should, in theory, be able to play these ghost notes really fast. Because they are just double strokes that take place at different parts of the beat throughout the measure. Especially if I'm just playing quarter notes on the hi-hats, it allows me to focus all of my attention between the bass drum and the snare drum, so I can really kick the speed up on this pattern. At the end of the day, we really want this wide dynamic spread between our ghost notes and our accents. So yeah, we want to keep these ghost notes as quiet as possible, but we also really want these accents to pop. So pretty much whenever I'm playing backbeat stuff, I use rim shots for my backbeats. You know, the 2 and the 4, I always want that to cut through. And it doesn't take much effort to make a rim shot sound loud. So even on my accents, I'm not hitting too hard. I'm just using a rim shot to help aid that difference in dynamics. And I think it's much easier to have this contrast in dynamics if we have these like low effort, loud hits in addition to our low effort, quiet hits. In order to play faster, we need to be really efficient with how we move. And using rim shots allows me to play much louder without really any extra effort. Transcriptions of these grooves are available only on my Patreon page. For a small monthly fee, you could gain access to all of the transcriptions that accompany all of my lesson videos, and it's a good way to just get a lot of practice material for not a lot of money. As always, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.